Emily and Ryan had been together for nearly 5 years. To anyone on the outside, they seemed like the picture-perfect pair. Emily, 28, was ambitious, beautiful, and confident. Ryan, 29, was a charismatic fitness trainer whose clients adored him. They shared laughter, vacations, and late-night movies. Their Instagram showed weekend getaways, candlelit dinners, and smiling selfies that looked straight out of a romance commercial. But beneath the polished image was a silence Emily could no longer ignore. Ryan was loyal, kind, and deeply in love, but predictable. His affection followed the same rhythm, the same touches, the same words. For a while it was comforting. But now Emily found herself restless, craving intensity, something that set her heart racing and her body on fire in ways Ryan never could. That hunger came alive the night she met David. He was 38, a client her company was pitching to during a corporate dinner. Unlike Ryan's boyish charm, David carried himself with the kind of confidence that only comes with age and experience. His eyes were sharp, observant, lingering on her just a little longer than they should have. When he shook her hand, his grip was firm, warm, sending a jolt up her arm. Throughout the dinner, she caught herself laughing harder at his comments, leaning closer to him without realizing. Every glance he gave her felt intentional, as if he could see through her perfectly polished exterior and into the desires she tried so hard to bury. By the time she left the restaurant that evening, she felt a kind of heat inside her chest she hadn't felt in years. She walked home with Ryan's arm around her waist, but all she could picture was David's smirk across the table. 2 days later, her phone buzzed with a message. "David, it was great meeting you. Hope we get a chance to talk again, just the two of us." Emily's pulse raced. She told herself to delete it to stay loyal, but her fingers typed before her mind could stop them. "Emily, I'd like that." It was the first spark, a dangerous one. Emily told herself it was harmless at first. Just texting, just casual talk. She even convinced herself she was being professional. But the tone of their conversations shifted quickly. David had a way of making every word feel like a secret. "You're too beautiful to be hiding behind business emails," he wrote one night. She bit her lip before replying. "Careful, that sounds like trouble." "Maybe I like trouble," he answered. Their texts grew longer, stretching late into the night while Ryan slept beside her, oblivious. She felt guilty, but at the same time alive. The thrill of secrecy, the forbidden edge of it all, made her heart pound. When David finally asked her to meet him for a drink after work, she hesitated. But deep down, she already knew she would say yes. They met at a quiet upscale bar downtown. Emily wore a black dress she hadn't touched in months, the one Ryan always said looked too much. David's eyes lit up when she walked in, and that reaction alone was worth the risk. Conversation flowed easily, laughter came naturally, and the space between them shrank with every passing minute. When David leaned closer, his hand brushing against hers, she didn't pull away. She didn't want to. By the end of the night, they stood outside under the glowing city lights, the tension between them unbearable. He touched her cheek, slow, deliberate, giving her time to move away. She didn't. The kiss was inevitable, deep, hungry, electric. When Emily finally pulled back, breathless, she whispered, "This is wrong." David smirked, brushing his thumb over her lips. "Then why does it feel so right?" That night, she went home and climbed into bed next to Ryan. He wrapped his arm around her like always, unaware, but Emily's body still burned with the memory of David's kiss. It was the moment she knew she had crossed the line, and there was no turning back. The weeks that followed were a blur of lies, stolen moments, and secret messages. Emily lived a double life, sweet, loyal girlfriend to Ryan by day, and daring, reckless lover to David by night. They met in hotel rooms with dim lights and heavy curtains. What started as kisses became more, touches that left her trembling, whispers that unraveled her. David was bold in ways Ryan never was, unafraid to take control, to explore, to push boundaries Emily hadn't even known she wanted crossed. Every encounter left her craving more, but the passion came with guilt. Some mornings she looked at Ryan, his easy smile, his unwavering trust, and felt the weight of her betrayal crush her chest. She would tell herself she would end it, that the next time would be the last. But then David would send a message, "I can still taste you. I need you again." And she would give in helplessly. The secrecy only made it hotter. Sneaking away during lunch breaks, late-night excuses about working late. Her heart raced every time she lied, but the adrenaline fed her desire. She felt like two different women, one trapped in safety, the other unleashed in fire. Ryan began to notice small changes. The way she smiled at her phone, the sudden excuses, the distant look in her eyes when she thought he wasn't watching. One night as they lay in bed, he asked softly, "Are you happy with me?" Her chest tightened. She forced a smile, brushing his hair back. "Of course I am." But deep down, she knew the truth. She was happier in someone else's arms. It couldn't last forever. Secrets never do. One evening, Ryan surprised Emily by picking her up from work. She wasn't expecting him, and worse, she had already made plans to meet David that night. Panic clawed at her throat as she climbed into Ryan's car, her phone buzzing with David's impatient messages. "Everything okay?" Ryan asked, his eyes searching hers. "Yeah," she lied, forcing a smile. But Ryan wasn't convinced. He had seen the distance, the late nights, the lies. The doubt in his eyes told her he already knew, even if she hadn't confessed. That night, Emily lay awake, caught between two men. Ryan, who loved her with his whole heart, and David, who consumed her with fire and passion. One offered safety, the other offered danger. When she met David the next day, he pulled her close and whispered, "Leave him. Be with me." The words echoed in her mind. Could she? Should she? Her heart pounded as she thought of Ryan's trust, his gentle love. Then she thought of David's hands on her body, the way he made her feel alive in a way Ryan never could. Emily realized she couldn't have both. She had to choose. And in that moment, standing in the hotel room with David's arms around her, she finally whispered the words that would change everything. "I can't keep living two lives. I have to decide." David's eyes searched hers, waiting. Emily closed her eyes, knowing whichever choice she made, someone's heart would shatter, including her own. The story of love, betrayal, and burning desires had led her here, to the ultimate decision.